Hey, this is Notser, and this is the user replay of the week. JMO 2015 is in the Tier 7 American Destroyer Sims. He is on the map Warriors Path, and this is going to be an interesting game. If you have a replay you would like to submit, please submit it to notserreplay@gmail.com. Please have the replay file, in-score screenshots, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and please include the ship name in the title of your email. I really appreciate all the submissions. I know, it's been a while since replays. I'm sorry. It's just the way it works out, honestly. Just so busy sometimes, but hopefully I'll be able to do more. So, I apologize right now if I sound weird. I'm still sick. I really am. And I'm going to just try and go through this as cleanly as I can and discuss in detail what the player's doing, that sort of thing. So, JMO, and that's what it's going to be for the rest of the game. JMO and his team spawned on the southern side of the map, and he moved forward. Now, most of his team is trying to make use of an island on the southwest side of the map. And JMO can also make use of this island. This enemy Genizer now is honestly pretty far forward. I'm not going to lie. His entire team should be working on this guy, and it looks like he just put out his damage control. So, when you know that the enemy has used their damage control, you need to try and exploit that fact by setting up either your torpedoes or more fire on the target. You really should do that sort of thing. And yeah, his team is basically just sitting in smoke. Yeah, that's what it always ends up being, doesn't it? Now, if I was the enemy team, what would I try and do? I would try and torpedo this area. It looks like the enemy... Oh, what the... Okay. The enemy destroyer chose a flank that was undefended, and he broke through to the back line, and he's going to harass the friendly aircraft carrier, and this is terrible, and it looks like JMO has decided I have to go defend my guy, and yeah, he keeps calling out. Yeah, this is bad. This is very, very bad. They've already lost a friendly destroyer, and I don't know where the friendly destroyer was located, but it doesn't appear that anyone other than JMO is taking this particularly seriously. I mean, you're going to lose your aircraft carrier. Straight up, you're going to lose it if you don't try and defend it. And he's boosted himself. He should just go directly towards his aircraft carrier because he knows the enemy is going towards his aircraft carrier. I mean, it's just obvious he wants to kill him. And the Saipan's probably, really, really happy that he's in a position that he's detected and he's being harassed and there's nothing he can do about it. The friendlies apparently have multiple enemies that are pushing through, and I honestly, they should focus on that cruiser on their western flank. He just seems to be out in the open broadside. It doesn't seem like that's a hard kill. If they all work together, they can take him out. They're already too far behind the Sims. It's really on the aircraft carrier and JMO to defend the Sims. And whenever you're in a position like this, what went bad here? Well, an entire flank was left wide open. Now, why was it left wide open? Was it because they lost the friendly destroyer? I don't think so. I think the friendly destroyer was too far on the western flank. Did the aircraft carrier do everything in his power to make sure that something like this couldn't happen? Probably. I always like to keep the enemy contained. That's my goal, to have a good idea of what's going on. Play out the early game very passively from the standpoint of vision. Use the islands to your advantage. If you can kill a destroyer, kill a destroyer. But if you're going up against a battleship or a cruiser and you don't really know where the other destroyers are, you need to try and locate them. You really need to try and locate them. Otherwise, this happens. You're going to lose your aircraft carrier. The enemy's going to keep their aircraft carrier. You've already lost many, many, many friendlies, and that Fiji is still alive. Thankfully, he dies to the Colorado. But everyone's being overrun on the western flank. They've got flanking fire. There's just nothing good that can come from this. So they've broken out, and they're working down every single JMO teammate. There's nothing you can do. And it's looking really bad, right? It's looking really, really bad. But the enemy Sims, he can't run anymore. He's within the effective range of JMO, and JMO is just missing. And I think he's got it now. Yeah, it's a much better targeting. He should honestly chain fire at this point. Oh, well, the friendly aircraft carrier took care of himself. Good job, aircraft carrier. This enemy cruiser looks to have tried to push forward as well to work down the friendly aircraft carrier. And the Sims, really, JMO, you should just work this guy down. Start trying to set fires and send torpedoes when you can. It doesn't really read as this cruiser cares that much about your existence. It seems to me that he is very much interested in killing your friendly aircraft carrier. So I would use that to my advantage, knowing that he is so interested in killing your friendly aircraft carrier. I would manipulate it so I could set him on fire, get as much distance as I could. I would not have used smoke. Why would I not have used smoke? Because smoke is going to deny line of sight to the enemy cruiser, and I'm not really going to be able to use it that much. Right? He can't use it. He's got to spot this guy and wear him down. So the cooldown's just a waste. Just a waste. And I know the feeling. I've made that mistake a million times. But don't use your smoke if you are the only one who is responsible for spotting the target. You just can't. You just can't. Especially when you're full life. There's nothing to react to. Yeah, you're going to take damage, but he's taking plenty of damage. And it would be really nice if he would be set on fire. But that is relying on RNG, and we can't always get all lucky, right? We can't always get lucky. And for whatever reason, he is firing AP. I don't understand that at all. Why would the Miyoko fire AP at a destroyer? Just fire your HE. He's not hitting the target now, but still, it's very weird. It's very weird. The enemy team has all but the center location. Honestly, I don't know why they don't have the center location. It wouldn't be too hard for one of them to just have captured it. That's very much a misplay. You don't ever give your opponent a chance to avoid losing control of the game. They only have 2 bases. They could have had 3. And the tick rate could have gone way faster. But it's not. It's not. And it's very clear that the enemy destroyer has no intention of capturing it. His last known position was just west of the position, the capture point. So I'm going to guess that they're all going after the aircraft carrier. They are all playing it as such. They don't respect JMO. If they would just sail at this guy and keep up the pressure, they would probably have a better chance of completely destroying. Who cares about the aircraft carrier? He can't kill you by himself, especially the setup that he has. He's got the 1 dive bomber, 3 fighter squadron. That's not going to kill you. That's never going to kill you. So the enemy team is playing this all wrong. The enemy team should be going after the Sims. They should just be chasing him down, full speed directly towards him. He's going to have to move directly away if he intends to stay away from them. They have a friendly aircraft carrier who can spot as well. They can do so many things against the Sims. The enemy Nagato fires at the Sims location and he hits a little bit. The dive bomber tries to bomb him and he doesn't really do that much. He puts out any fires or any steering modules that were knocked out. But they are bypassing the Sims to kill off the aircraft carrier in a 2 versus 4. No, we don't do that. Don't ever do that. If you can get a free kill on the aircraft carrier, sure. But they're going out of their way to take out a target, and someone is now capturing the center point. It's been so long that I don't think it's the enemy destroyer. Yeah, it's not the enemy destroyer. It's the enemy aircraft carrier. The enemy destroyer. So many mistakes. You play to win the game, right? How do you win the game? Well, you have more points than the enemy. That could be a combination of killing aircraft, capturing bases, denying base captures to the enemy, that sort of thing. But you don't win the game by eliminating all the targets and ignoring the obvious win condition, which is just protect the bases. This aircraft carrier cannot capture this base. He will never, ever, ever capture this base. JMO is going to kill him because he has no support. Look at where the destroyer is on the enemy team. They all went towards the enemy aircraft carrier, or JMO's friendly. Completely and utterly failing the objective of rank play. It's too stressful to do crap like this. Now they do get the aircraft carrier. Oh boy, I'm glad they got the aircraft carrier. It's a 1 versus 4, but this aircraft carrier on their team is dead. There's nothing he can do. There's absolutely nothing he can do. And JMO finally switches to AP. Fire AP whenever you have the side of the ship. The only reason you wouldn't fire AP at an aircraft carrier is if the angle of the shell is going to cause it to ricochet off the top or the side. I've seen some extreme cases where the distance was so incredible that you also missed. And look at this. Look at this. The way epicenter works, he can capture all 3 bases at the same time and deny capture points to the enemy. Boy, it would have worked out so much better if they would have just defended the base capture. And now they have to rush back and try and at least stall the game out long enough that they can win on points. But look at how far away they are. Look at how the enemy team just bumbling buffoons in this game. There's really no other way to put it. They did everything in their power to lose the game. And I'm just so happy that JMO shared this game, because we're going to see if they have enough time to come back and win the game. The battleship is on a direct intercept course, and it seems that he, obviously, if this is going on, you know where the enemy is. The enemy is in the center, and he's able to capture all the bases. Any other map, they probably win this game outright, because it takes too long to get over to each objective, right? But epicenter, he could capture all 3 in the same exact moment of the game. So, as the Nagato, what should you look to do? You need to push directly towards the center of the map. You have no choice. There's nothing else for you to do. Get to the objective. You don't need to survive. You need to keep the enemy from benefiting from the capture points. And how do you do that? You sit on them. I'm not mad at anyone here. I'm just mad at the situation. I just can't believe that players were this cocky, this selfish, to go after an aircraft carrier who clearly couldn't beat you based on his loadout. It takes him, what, a minute to rearm? 2 minutes to rearm? He's got, what, 8 or 9 aircraft to rearm with that dive bomber? He's got fighters mostly. He can't kill you. He's not worth your time. And the Nagato apparently is going to be lucky, you know, one of those battleships that fits himself directly inside of the torpedoes, and he doesn't have to worry about torpedoes for another minute or so. But he should be going full speed towards the center of the map. He knows where the target is now, obviously. And he has HE loaded, which is okay. I kind of, you know, after playing for a while and seeing the way people play, if you get an overpen, which you will get an overpen for AP, it's not better than HE. But if you get lucky and one of the shells is able to stick in the ship, either from the angling of the battleship or from the destroyer, it's worth it to keep AP loaded just for that 1 in 20 or 30 shots that the target angles in such a manner that the shell sticks in the ship. HE is alright, but it's not really gonna reach the potential damage, and obviously he has to hit the target first. But yeah, the Nagato is angling. He's just wasting so much time. I know what he thinks he's doing. He's trying to bring all guns to bear, but he needs to sail directly towards the center. He needs to get, as soon as possible, in a position to deny the capture point. There's only 3 minutes left. Fortunately for JMO, he hits a torpedo and he causes a flood, which forces out damage control. Now the Nagato is going to be susceptible to the fires that he could set in 10 seconds or so. The enemy destroyer is also in the area. He should be going directly towards the center of the map as well. And they're just playing. They're just wasting so much time. Finally, the enemy battleship crosses that threshold into the second capture ring. They need to get to the third one. Just stall the game, guys. Ah. The Leningrad, for whatever reason, is not interested in firing his guns at all. He should be headed straight for the center, though, too. He should get in the center, and he should just pop his smoke. That's what he should do. I just don't understand the way they're playing it. They're playing it like, it's okay. We could just easily kill this guy. No big deal. But you need to confirm that you're going to win the game first before you go for kills. You're not going to win the game if you don't deny the capture. And the Leningrad is finally in the center. Finally, there is a enemy in the center to try and stop the capture, but he doesn't appear to have any way to stop taking damage, and he was just sitting stationary in it. JMO, you just got to try and kill them now. You don't have any benefit of capturing, but this Leningrad is going to let you kill him. Yeah, he burns him down. He's now in a position where he's going to win the game. It took 19 minutes in the game, but JMO's team is now ahead of the enemy's team. And the Nagato is still playing around, have no idea where the cruiser is, the enemy cruiser. He's just taking his sweet time. He really is taking his sweet time. And JMO sends his torpedoes. All he has to do is stall. All he has to do is stall the game. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He could honestly sit in his smoke and win the game at this point. As long as he's able to just... Oh, God, it's getting close, though. It's getting so close. The battleship is going to have one more salvo against JMO before the end of the game. And he needs to be able to hit this shot. If the battleship misses his salvo, and so far we can assume that he's going to, then their team's going to lose the game. They're going to lose an obvious win because they were selfish going after the enemy aircraft carrier. And the enemy aircraft carrier, JMO's aircraft carrier, played it out perfectly. If you guys are going to just bypass everything, I'm going to go to J1 and sit there, force you to get all the way on top of me, and then you leave epicenter wide open for people to take. And that's what happened. And I just wanted to show this, part because it was really interesting, and partly because the solution to winning the game is very obvious, and I just wanted to make sure you knew. I just want to make sure. JMO 2015 earns Solo Warrior, High Caliber, 2 kills, a lot of base defenses, 4 base captures, 89,000 damage done. As far as base XP, 2,968. That's not bad at all. Almost 3 grand. He missed out. Probably could have gotten some more if he would have defended a little bit more. But hey, I mean, the enemy team did everything in their power to lose the game. They didn't do everything in their power to give him 3 grand. As far as damage is concerned, most of it from HE. We've got 58,000 from the shell itself, 16,000 from the fires it set, 11,000 in torpedoes. Pretty average game from a damage standpoint, but it's not average in the situation. I wanted to share it. Don't be like JMO's opponents. Don't bypass obvious threats. The destroyer is going to kill you, or it could change the game. The aircraft carrier is really a support vessel. It's much harder, especially the Saipan's build. He only had 1 attack aircraft. All of it was fighters, except for the dive bomber. Don't let him beat you by your incompetence. Make sure you have the objective controlled and take what the enemy is giving you. Don't force the end of the game by killing all the ships and ignoring the destroyer that could go back and capture, especially on epicenter. Any other game mode, and he probably still can't bring this back. But because they ignored epicenter, they lost. JMO 2015, thank you for sharing this. I know you earned Solo Warrior, and this is usually how Solo Warrior is earned. The enemy team's incompetence or mistakes are what drive the Solo Warrior being awarded, because you shouldn't be able to take on 4 and win. But either way, it's a good learning tool for everyone. Don't make the same mistakes. Play the objective. Once you can confirm you're going to win the objective, then go for the kills. You got to win the game. That's the most important thing. You play to win the game. I hope everyone enjoyed this comeback by JMO 2015. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.